Hello and welcome to this video on Crystal. Alistair Cockburn, an Agile pioneer and one of the authors of the Agile Manifesto, introduced a family of development methods popularized as the Crystal methodologies of software development in the early 1990s. According to Cockburn's definition, Crystal is a family of human-powered, adaptive, ultralight, and stretch-to-fit software development methodologies. This family of methodologies are designed to suit teams of different sizes, which need different strategies to solve diverse problems. The relation of Crystal's four vital factors determine the weight of Crystal methodology. These vital factors are categorized based on criticality of project defects, namely loss of comfort, discretionary money, essential money, and life. Crystal variants are arranged in an increasing order of weight. The Crystal Clear variant is suitable for non-Crystal projects. Crystal Orange for medium-sized projects in industrial settings. Crystal Orange Web is deployed for projects having constantly developing code based on being used by the public, whereas Crystal Orange is considered suitable for projects high on business criticality for the customer. The heavier methods, namely Crystal Sapphire and Crystal Diamond, are employed for larger projects, relying on a huge workforce, and for projects in which consequences of project failure are fatal. That is, projects involving risk to human lives. The length of increments and the chief artifacts remain more or less the same for all the variants. The development motto, however, differs slightly. Many successful projects have been completed by deploying the three simpler variants, namely Crystal Clear, Crystal Orange, and Crystal Orange Web, as these variants are less theoretical and complex than the heavier ones. The first concept here is core values. Human-powered. Crystal places people and the communication among them as its crux. As such, all the processes and the techniques of project planning and development are relative to the people in the project. Ultralight. Whatever the project size and priorities, the Crystal methodologies allow reduced documentation, management overhead, and reporting. Stretch to fit. Because people are primary, the developmental processes and tools are not fixed. They are adjusted to the requirements and the characteristics of the project. The color spectrum is used to decide on the variant for a project. Factors such as comfort, discretionary money, essential money, and life play a vital role in determining the type or vigor, or in Crystal terminology, the weight of the methodology, which is represented in various colors along a selected spectrum. The Crystal family is divided into Crystal Clear, Crystal Yellow, Crystal Orange, Crystal Orange Web, Crystal Red, Crystal Maroon, Crystal Diamond, and Crystal Sapphire. Incremental development of features. Crystal follows incremental delivery, wherein the entire project is broken down into iterations. These incremental development cycles have a lifespan of 4 months at the most, and between 1 and 3 months. To be more precise, the lifespan of a developmental cycle is decided on the basis of the weight of the methodology being used. Flexibility and fluidity. Crystal keeps people and processes at the highest priority level. As such, Crystal methodologies permit the highest possible level of flexibility in deciding on the development tools, practices, and work plans. It also makes room for adoption of other software development methodologies, such as XP and Scrum. Team size is an important deciding factor. Team size plays an instrumental role in determining the weight of the Crystal methodology. In other words, Crystal Clear is more suitable for relatively short-term projects, being handled by a team of 6 developers working out of a single workspace. Crystal Orange is designed for projects with a lifespan of 1 to 2 years and that require a medium-sized team comprising of 10 to 40 members. Therefore, the variability of project environment and the number of people working drive the Crystal methodology. Active user involvement. Crystal methodologies are people-centric, whether the people are developers or users. The users are actively and directly involved in the development process. Osmotic communication. The Crystal methodology calls for closely co-located teams in which osmotic communication, or casual listening to and overhearing conversations, can take place. This not only enables team members to register what others are discussing and use this information in the future, but also minimize technical debt in the iterations that follow. Frequent tracking of progress. One of the basic principles of the Crystal methodology is delivering on commitments. As such, teams have to ensure the frequent delivery of client-valued functionalities, and one of the most effective ways of doing this is to gauge progress. This is done by tracking milestones based on product deliveries and landmark decisions instead of documenting and reporting. Roles is the next concept. As mentioned above, Crystal methodologies are of various types, and each type defines its own roles and responsibilities. However, there are 4 mandatory roles for all Crystal methods. Executive sponsor is responsible for the economic success of the project and related business decisions. He or she is a bridge between the development team and the user organization and ensures that the development team receives insight into the business requirements of the features to be developed. The executive sponsor also monitors the progress of the project and provides feedback to the team. Lead designer is the technical lead of the project. He or she is responsible for the project plan, project control, and clears any impediments. There is no dedicated project manager in Crystal. Designers and/or programmers need to be able to design and program, and they actually do both. Designing without programming is flawed due to the lack of feedback and therefore is not practiced in any Crystal project of any size. Experienced user is a major stakeholder and represents the end users of the product. He or she has a deep understanding of how the final product is going to be used. In addition to the above-mentioned mandatory roles, there are a number of other roles. These additional non-mandatory roles can be played by people in any of the 4 roles above or on a temporary basis by one of the team members. In larger projects, people are given dedicated assignments to play these roles, Crystal Orange and above. These additional roles include architect, coordinator, requirements gatherer, business expert, business analyst, and designer, project manager, design mentor, usage expert, lead design programmer, UI designer, tester and/or a writer, technical facilitator, and technical writer. Coordinator plays the role of a traditional project manager. This role is frequently played by the lead designer. Business expert is the resource for business-related questions and answers these types of questions for the development team. This role is frequently played by the executive sponsor, the lead designer, or the experienced user. Tester and/or writer. Both roles are often played by the designers and/or programmers as temporary roles, especially in small projects such as Crystal Clear projects. Now we shall learn about practices. Crystal methods have various processes which are based on the developmental environment and the project requirements. However, the following processes are more or less common to all the methods. Strategies. Exploratory 360. The goal of the Exploratory 360 is to ensure that the project makes business sense and is feasible. The team checks business value, requirements, domain model, technical plans, project plan, team complexion, and methodology. At the end, a decision is made to either continue the project or to cancel it. Early victory. The idea behind this strategy is to boost the morale of the team with an early success. To do so, a small piece of working software is developed. Walking skeleton. This is a small part of the system to be developed. It's an end-to-end piece that links main architectural components together. Incremental re-architecture. The architecture is evolved in stages, aligned to the walking skeleton. This is an ongoing activity performed in parallel with other team activities. Information radiators. A display that is easily visible to people during their workday. For single teams, it's normally posted in the team room. For multiple teams, it may be on a web page or a shared drive. Techniques. Methodology shaping outputs a set of initial project conventions. They're developed in 2 steps. 1. Performing interviews. 2. A methodology workshop. Reflection workshop is a lessons learned meeting. It's performed by the team to discuss what went well, what did not, and what the team intends to change going forward. The reflection workshop is done after each delivery and iteration, and proposed changes are applied immediately in the project. Blitz planning is a quick and collaborative planning technique. It involves a representative from each stakeholder category. The outputs includes plans for the walking skeleton, the first delivery, and the first delivery that is expected to provide revenue. Delphi estimation is a group-based estimation technique. It involves breaking the project down into smaller, more manageable chunks, followed by creating estimations. The experts are required to submit estimates anonymously, which are then gathered and displayed on a chart by the facilitator. Daily stand-up meeting is a short team meeting that fosters communication among team members. Problems are identified but not discussed in the meeting to keep it short. There are 3 questions to be answered by each team member. What did you work on yesterday? What do you plan to do today? Are you facing any impediments? Essential interaction design is a fast, usage-centered design approach. It's focused on delivering features that satisfy the needs and desires of the people who are end users of the product. Process miniature is a learning technique used to familiarize team members with a new process. The idea is to do an extremely short mini project that includes all the elements of the new process. Side-by-side programming is somewhat similar to pair programming, but is less intensive. In pair programming, 2 team members work together on the same task, the same piece of software or unit of programming. In side-by-side programming, the 2 team members sit next to each other but work on different tasks. They learn from each other by osmotic communication. Burn charts, or burn down or burn ups, are efficient ways to plan, track, and report progress. Now we shall learn about the process to implement Crystal. A Crystal project cycle consists of 3 parts. 1. A charting activity. 2. 2 or more delivery cycles. And 3. The wrap-up. Charting. Charting consists of 4 steps and may last from a few days to a few weeks. Build the core of the team. Perform an exploratory 360. Shape and fine-tune the methodology. Create an initial project plan. Delivery cycle. Each delivery cycle consists of update and recalibrate release plan, and 1 or more iterations. Each iteration consists of the following: iteration planning, daily activities, completion, that is, reflection workshop and celebration, a delivery or release to real users, which can include user viewings. Frequent feedback from the end users is necessary. How often this is done may depend on the costs for a delivery or release, but needs to be frequent enough to keep the users interested. And a delivery cycle completion. The idea is not only to do a lessons learned, but also to relax, refresh batteries, and get mentally ready for the next delivery cycle. And then there's the wrap-up. The wrap-up is similar to the delivery cycle completion. This brings us to the end of this module. Stay tuned and learn more in our next video. Until then, goodbye.